Hey, we are back. We haven't seen you guys in so long. Yeah. We were just doing our normal Sunday show, but now we're back, and this is an anything goes, and we have an all veteran panel, and this is actually the brainchild of TC. He wanted to do this, and I put it all together, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to be there."
That's the way it works.
He's got his little farming thing that he's doing, so he's got his chickens. So I do get it. I'm not mad at him at all, but it's a great idea. And all of you guys have all been on the show before, so this is great.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for having me too.
Anytime,
Thanks, Mike.
anytime. So there's a lot of stuff. We're all veterans here. There's a lot of people talking about things happening in the VA. Have you guys been following it?
Not really.
I have not. No, I don't think.
Other than that, I can't get things done. For 10 years, I've had nail psoriasis, and for 10 years, I have not been able to get medical treatment for it. Every single appointment, they say it's a fungus. How do I have a fungus on my elbow? How do I have a fungus on my hand? But it's a fungus.
That's weird.
And then they pawn me off on a doctor, start the fungus treatment all over again, and that goes on. I'm going on 10 years now.
Where do they find these quacks?
Absolutely amazing. Yeah. So that's my problem. At least my current problem.
I'm sorry that you have to go through that. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, but that seems like a regular thing for the VA. They're going to misdiagnose. Like I have a problem with my eye, and I had to seek outside treatment because the VA told me they wanted to fill my eyeball with gas when there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's what they do, and it's the incompetence of the doctors that the VA pays to treat us is just deplorable. I can't believe I literally have fingernails falling off of my fingers, falling off.
Wow.
And they say that it's a fungus for 10 years. Not once have I went to a dermatologist to get a scrape done so that they can verify that it's nail psoriasis. Not once. 10 years. Not one doctor sent me to get a dermatologist to verify it in 10 years. I don't understand how that's humanly possible. You're a doctor.
Right?
Hi, Laura.
Are they?
Laura, what part of the country are you out of?
I retired to Pennsylvania.
PA. Good deal.
Yes, good old PA.
Yeah, good. I hear you. If I could give maybe a recommendation that I've done for myself. Last year, I hired an attorney out of Baltimore who took me all the way to the top, and then some. I've got a shitload of back pain going to be coming, and I'm on what's the longest wait you got to do? Something with the board. I don't know, whatever the VA. But my attorney's handling it, and here's what I have discovered. I'm telling now. I'm in an area of 100,000 people, and I have my VA center is an hour from me, and then I'm on community care. I have discovered, and my wife's got issues, you tell the doctor what to do. You don't ask. You tell them, because I've got every single code, every single malady, everything. So I've got a PA, and she's a great gal. So, I've got surgery coming up, and the doctor said you have XYZ on your liver, the term lesions, and, I have no clue. And I have a buddy who has bad liver, bad kidney. I said, what's this about? He said, oh, yes, he's a specialist. He said, when you get older, everybody's got them. I'm not an alky. I don't drink. So I told the doctor I want a sonogram of my liver. I'm going tomorrow. So I don't know how your doctors are, but every doctor in my 30 plus years of being part of this deal, when I start making strong recommendations, and I've had a great relationship with most of them, they do what I ask. So I don't know if that's for you, Laura, and your VA and the PA VA, but You know, I've got a personal relationship with the dude who runs the whole 6 or 8 or 10 VAs. I've because they've lost a whole bunch of personal information of mine through the mail. So, you know, I think they're a little concerned so far, but just unsolicited thought process from an old dude.
No, that's great advice. I appreciate it. And I actually went from the Wilkes-Barre VA, which is an hour and a half away. And once I retired, they continued the same process of just pushing me off to a new provider who started the whole process of nothing all over again. And that's what they do. I'll stay with the provider once I start pushing and I say, I want dermatology right now. Right now.
Yep.
I put in a consult. I want dermatology. It's been months. They say, oh, okay. Next thing I know, I get an alert. I've changed providers. They just push me off to a new provider.
Have you talked to the guy that runs the show there?
Point.
Have you talked to the regional directors?
No, I actually changed from Wilkes-Barre after 3 years with them. I changed to the more local.
Sure.
It's a smaller
clinic.
Place. It's a town called Bangor in Pennsylvania. Very, very small, very friendly, but a little bit more backwoods.
Yeah.
But my provider there, as soon as I told her, she said, well, I have to do the antifungal treatment first because that's what's in the program. I have to do that. I said, okay, so put it in right now. And then next week I'll make another appointment and then you set me up with dermatology. And she said that in the system for things like that, that there's actually a process. She can put that in, but then I'm mandatorily have to take the antifungals for 2 months to prove that it doesn't work. And then after that, then I can go to dermatology.
Have you had that process
10 years
done before? Okay, so
for 10 years.
If
and
you've
it hasn't
had
progressed
that
past
specific,
that. They put this for me to a new provider, and it starts all over again. So their goal is that they're not sending me to dermatology because it's going to cost the VA more money to send me to dermatology.
Exactly.
You don't get paid.
That's a lifelong
I have
treatment.
a question.
The VA doesn't want.
Are you doing this? Are you going VA, or are they sending you community care? Which one? In your little town.
Say it again.
In your little town, are you going community care facility, Laura?
Community care or VA facility?
No, I can't go with that because I have to go through my primary care provider just to go to dermatology.
See, and that's wrong. That fuck, I hate the VA, man. They screw us because they know that they can't. That if they send you to community care, they have to pay for it, and they lose money. And they're going to do everything and anything they can to keep you there because you're just a paycheck.
Yes, thank you. Who's that? You're amazing. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
AVA. Well, you know, hey, buddy, you living out in the CA world. Hopefully, CA will get right, if you know what I mean, brother.
If we don't burn down first.
Well, I hear you. I'm from the school. Is if there's enough, what really gets my goat is when I see an NFL player get a bunch of freaking, oh, let's talk about this NFL player. I'm going to reach out to this guy Sapp, who got arrested, and I'm going to say, look, I know 4 vets. ABA's one of them. Blind Justice, Kev, and my mind just dumped on me. Another guy. My mind just went blank. It'll come to me. That's what happens when you're aging and on medication. So, the bottom line. My mind just went blank. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh well, I'm thinking about what I got to do to the truck. I still got a shitload. It's warm here finally. We got out of the double dip.
I literally had to fight tooth and nail and grovel and beg the director of my VA to give me community care because of the horrendous treatment that I received at the VA.
Hey, Cajon, have you been following any of the Veterans Administration committees and the people that are being assigned to them?
No, but I probably should get back on top of that. I just moved back into my house.
Well, there's a lot of with this, Trump is moving on pro vets. I think if a group like us, say, hey, we've got people here that are between the cracks. Is there somebody that can address these problems, which are major? Since, aliens are done, we Americans and veterans, number one, we all served and paid our price for it. So, that's what I think. And then getting back to SAP, I mean, it's just like, I'm going to reach out to this guy and say, hey, dude, you get all these accolades, but there are guys, combat guys, they've got, forgetting things, TBIs, yada, yada, yada. No, I'm not demeaning anything. Can you kind of bring us along if you pro-vet, So it's a time, I've been following the drama at a distance. There's a lot of drama going in this quote community. And I'm from the school, whatever. Hey, what Tom Holman said it best yesterday. I don't know if I like the borders are. He looked at the back of those cameras and he says, he said, I don't give a shit what you think about me. And I think our attitude with regards to how we bivouac and approach the VA could be powerful if we did. I know Mike's got a whole bunch of different arms out there like an octopus with all of his channels. So just a thought. I mean, hey, especially for you, Kahuna. Kahanu. Sorry, buddy.
Close enough.
Hey, gummies. Really good gummies. Good gummies.
I'll take a moment and say hi to everybody.
I just
Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate it.
You can get a Veteran Nation shirt like Lynette here is wearing at veterannationfoundation.com.
When are we going to get some Vag rocks?
You mean like this Vag Nation rock?
Oh.
These Vag Nation rocks. I've been making them. I just got to put the link up on the store.
Oh, can I show my Veterans Nations mug?
Absolutely.
You going pet rocks, huh, Mike?
Oh, I'm gonna go.
Well, one of the haters channels calls me Vag Nation, so I'm gonna monetize my haters. So I said, sure, Vag Nation rocks. So now we're selling Vag Nation rocks.
Nation rocks. Hey, put a number on them and sign them. Limited edition rocks.
I could do that. Yeah.
No, limited. This is like USAID. We have limited edition rocks for you and your purview. Hey, that's looking all the line items. You'll probably find
Look
rocks.
at that pretty girl.
Oh, cool cup.
Definitely whiskey. That's the Veterans Nation.
I had a lot of fun
Absolutely
making
awesome.
that one.
Well, I'll jump in and talk about my VA stuff. Being retired, I've got TRICARE also, but I'm down in Mississippi on the Gulf Coast. And our VA, I just got to say, our VA has actually been really good to me. I've not run into any issues. We've got a good VA down here. I hate to be a party pooper, but that's just the truth,
I've got another friend in that VA, and she loves it, and she cannot say enough. And she's been in several VAs, and most of them suck.
Yeah. I did visit one over in Pensacola years ago. I just needed to ask a question, I want to say, and the lady told me that I had to get there at like 7 a.m. and get in line, and maybe they would get the whole line. So I just got a question. But they wouldn't deal with me. So I have seen a VA that sucked. But I have to be honest about the VA I use here at Biloxi. They've been great to me. If I have a complaint, it would be the turnover. You get a doctor or you get a PA and, you use them for 6 months, maybe even a year, you got a good rapport going. Then you go back for your next appointment and they're not there anymore. They've moved on. Yep. So the turnover is sort of an aggravation, but as far as level of care, I haven't seen that degraded even with the turnover. So I don't have a worse story for you, but it's the truth about the way I feel about where I'm at. So
no, I'm glad you have a good experience.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad if anybody does have a good experience at the VA. Like when I first started going to the VA, it was sunshine and rainbows. and then they tried to bury me. Now it's not sunshine and rainbows.
Well, hopefully, AVA,
And
with
it's
the
frustrating
change of everything,
when
and
it
then
actually happens, though. You're not informed.
I don't know if I'm not want to get into it on this
Marco.
episode particularly, but I have a long list of things that have been done to me, and they just swept it under the rug and just sent me to a different VA after different VA just to hide me.
Yeah,
Mike,
absolutely.
there's this, what do they call those reports on cops that lie? What's the word I'm looking for? The Brady list.
Yeah.
Maybe because I've asked these questions. My VA ain't messing with me, and like you, Larry, I've been very fortunate. After I called them out, and I mean got real specific. And when you're a pilot and you go checklist, I called them out on just delivering shit to me on open mail with all my stuff, and I watched a Leo when veterans were checking in, standing behind the nurses as veterans were checking in, and I got pissed. I said, I went to the guy who runs the whole show. Great guy. He's a politician. And I told him, I sent him an email. I said, what the hell is this? I want to know your procedure. What procedures, what authorization does that Leo have behind looking at veterans information? And I want to know what's on those screens that are being input. And the lady that does this for the whole VA got back to me and gave me the process. There's no PI, personal identifying information, PII, something like that. So scary. None of that's on that intake screen. At least that's what they told me. And from that point forward, they've been treating me with kid gloves. Because I call them on the carpet. Screw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know what that group is, and we're the PA. What group of facilities? Because I asked this director in West Texas. I said, why isn't I can't see all the other contacts? Without having to go, get all the contacts for every single VA center, like you, director, and what have you. And he said, well, it's an archaic system. So just a thought following, what's going on. Like Larry's had some great luck. I know, Laura, with what's going on with you, it's not been, sunshine and rainbows. But how many other guys and gals are in your neck of the woods that are experiencing the same thing? Do you know? Laura? Am I able, can you hear me? Hello?
I'm sorry, you broke up.
I can.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. It was for Laura. Or are there other people
I'm sorry, I'm
experiencing
having
the
a
same
little
thing
bit
you
of.
are in your neck of the wood? Mike, how am I sounding? Mike. Hello.
I can hear you. I think she's getting a little bit of lag.
I can't hear.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, no worries. I understand. I'll just pick up on it. I'll later on.
You can also type it into the private chat.
Private chat. Yeah.
So then she can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do that. So, well, I'm going to get ready to bounce. I got a truck to finish up, and boy, if you knew what was going on with me and vehicles.
Oh yeah. I do want to talk to you about it. That's why I really was looking forward to you joining here. But if you can't talk about it today, I totally.
Let me share. Okay, right now, we dropped $60,000 on an Escalade, and drove 3.5 hours. I started looking for a month because we're going to downsize, sell the hangar, sell my airplane, get a big Super Coach Motor C, and then tow the Cadillac behind it, and we're good to go. But as a senior, yes, I am a senior, proud of it. All that gray hair, which may go away. We drove. Everything was sunshine and rainbows pre-sale. Now, I have taught professionally for 42 years sales. I'm a certified negotiator. I mean, I've taught from the oil industry, the real estate industry, everything, and primarily in real estate because that's where my company is. And let's just say after the sale, they decided to forget, and I sent them a very 5-minute bombs. And the bad part is the last 30 seconds. So my wife, I've been married 42 years, wonderful gal. She's got a situation with her medical. And when she got on and I saw her, addressing her this ownership that hid their emails. I was told you can't talk to the GM or the owner of this dealership because their information is private. Can you imagine that? No complaints. So long story short, that's been a problem. I'm going to see how it all takes out in the next, hopefully, month. I just hope,
Keep us
It's been-
updated.
I will. It'll be interesting because I think I'm going to be giving the truck I'm doing now. I'm closing out one of my companies. I'm going to sell my truck, and actually, I'm going to give my truck to Scars.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So they can give it to a vet. And I believe in Scars. That's what I do. I support the guy. So,
Your microphone is cutting out.
okay, well, it's the headset. All this expensive Bose works in an airplane, but not on what is this?
I can't
Restream.
Talk to you guys. Larry, good to meet you guys.
Yep.
AVH, rather.
Ciao. See you later.
All right. So looks like it froze up a little bit there with him leaving. There we go.
Yeah. So
Apologies.
overall,
I
the
couldn't
VA
hear, like,
sucks.
half the stuff he was saying.
Yeah, it was going in and out. What were you saying, AVA?
I'm saying that, long story short, the VA sucks.
I was using that hashtag
Amen,
for
brother.
a while.
Amen, brother.
And then I'm sorry that you can't get community care,
Screw
and
hashtag.
it should be available. It should be available for everybody. And I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't have a rating system. It should be all veterans should get the same treatment that a president gets.
Yeah. Now, there is one other thing that I do want to talk about that you guys might have some insight, because I'm always looking at this, and whenever I find stuff, I share it out there. Veteran discounts. Is there any that you guys have used that you're like, these ones are great?
Definitely Home Depot for me.
Yeah, Lowe's.
Yep. Tractor Supply.
I just used Home Depot yesterday.
Tractor Supply does
Yeah,
a veterans discount. So I'm gonna close my blinds.
I am finding that they're going away though. Right after all of the 9/11 and wars and things. When it was fresh, everybody was offering some kind of veteran discount, but now they're slowly falling off. There's still a few out there giving it, but not near as much as it used to be.
One that I've told many veterans to do is if you go to Vegas
That's
to
true.
join the Players Club of wherever you're at, and just to ask them if they have something for veterans. What I've found is the big ones actually they'll open a Players Club account, but as a veteran they'll put you in an upper tier, and that's good because you get more discounts. Right now, I'm getting a ton of offers for either free complimentary night stays or really cheap stays. And that's why last month I was up in Vegas, and I'm thinking I might go up there in the next
Where
few
at?
weeks again. Vegas. So I'm a member of both Caesars and MGM, and if you show that you're a veteran, they upgrade you. So then you get more discounts.
That's interesting.
Nice.
Good information. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, I was going to throw out here. I'm going to get off topic for just a second.
Go right
I
ahead.
don't know.
Of course, you know this, but my wife and I went to a hockey game Friday night. And inside there, it's just they got all the music blaring and they're announcing the game. So it's really loud in there. But I had you guys stream playing, and I could see it, but I couldn't hear it. And all of a sudden, I see somebody with a blow-up doll. And I couldn't hear what was being said, so I just had to use my imagination.
So John Naylor, who's a fan of the show, and he's been on the show. I don't know if he's in the comments right now. He was in the comments earlier. He was at Goodwill, and someone had turned in this doll, and he was talking about it while me and Georgie were streaming, and we just started looking into it, and we're like, wow, blow-up dolls are super cheap. Well, he ended up buying this one. This is the first ever like fan mail I've ever gotten. So thank you again, John Naylor. But yeah, he sent me this. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna put a Veteran Nation shirt, and now I've got a co-host if I need it.
And I went back later and I watched the video, and I could, while I was at home, so I could hear what was being said. But it was so funny at that hockey game, I couldn't hear what was being said on the stream. I just saw y'all would just blow up doll. I just had to try to imagine what y'all were talking about. I took y'all to some pretty dark places in my mind. I'm just throwing that out there.
You can dance with her on the Veterans Lounge.
Yeah, they're all worried about me being a single guy.
That's
yeah. Good. Oh, Laura froze up. Laura, you froze up. Yeah, it's good to have a lady in my life again.
Getting the alert that says my restarted.
Oh, okay. It just delayed it.
It's ridiculous. I got full bars. I don't know what's happening.
So
yeah, sometimes
she just left. I was just about to ask her if there is something we can do to help her get into community care, because those doctors don't know what they're doing. They clearly don't know what they're doing if it's been 10 years and she's still having to suffer.
And she's a retiree. There you are.
And that's not right. It's just like how they just kept feeding me pills. They should not be transferring Laura around when she's got a problem that can be easily diagnosed with a proper test.
Yeah.
But again, the VA can't profit off of the thing that will actually work.
It's for my one friend. She needed a surgery, and they just wanted to keep going through more and more tests. And it was like, we know what it is. They just didn't want to get the surgery.
Absolutely.
And then here's one qualifier, Laura, that they're not going to tell you, and I think it's number 6, is if it's in the benefit and the health and welfare of the patient is one of the ways that you can get onto community care. I'll have to pull that information up and get it to you. Because you shouldn't be having to suffer
So was
like
it the
that.
benefit and the welfare?
Right.
I'm taking it.
There's a list of there's 8
And
bullet points, but they
I
only
know
use 4.
there's not a big deal. But when you're a woman and people look at you, and one of the first things in your hands, and you have no fingernails, it starts to affect you. For 10 years, my nails, 10 years, the VA just keeps sending me to a new provider, so that they don't actually have to provide me treatment. And actually, the treatment for nail psoriasis is UV, I think it's UVC treatment. And it's just a laser, and they put your finger, they actually have to remove the remaining fingernails off. And then they put the laser on the top of it, and it cures it. And then your fingernails actually grow back. 10 years. All you need to do is send me to a dermatologist so I can get the words put in the record so that I can get it taken care of. It's unbelievable. And it's nonstop that it's just pointing off. It's cheaper to send me to a third-rate doctor and pay them $6 an hour than to send me to go get actual treatment. And that treatment's going to cure it. It's going to correct my problem for the rest of my life. 10 years. I think I deserve to actually have fingernails again. I would love to have nail polish and fingernails. Like, you have no idea. As a woman, I would love to have nail polish. It's so basic, but I want nail polish.
That makes sense, and I hear you. And these kind of stories, it drives me insane, because you shouldn't have to suffer. You already suffered. You sacrificed for this country. You bled. You cried. You did everything that you were supposed to do, and they can't do a simple fucking test.
Yes.
It's wrong.
It was my understanding if they
It's
couldn't handle it
frustrating.
in-house,
It's
then
very
they have to
frustrating.
send
I
you
stopped
out.
going to the VA for 3 years. No, they don't
And
have to
that
do anything. That's the problem. We think that they have to do something. I am 6 foot tall, 180 pounds, covered in tattoos, and I do not allow someone to disrespect me. Every appointment when I go to and they tell me I cannot go to dermatology, no, we're going to do the same thing that we've done for the past 10 years. Myself, absolutely not. Look at my records. You've done it for 10 years. For 10 years, it hadn't worked. I want a dermatologist. Do you know what happens? The end of the appointment, I get an alert on my way home that says I have a new provider to do. Do they actually do it? And if they don't do it, what recourse do I have as a veteran to demand it? I have called every 1-800 number. I have called patient advocate. I've called patient representatives. I've called the complaint line at the actual facilities. Absolutely nothing has happened other than you have a new provider, start from scratch. 10 years, start from scratch. Okay, we're starting from scratch again. Now I'm 6 years retired. I still don't have fingernails.
Man, that's crazy.
it is crazy.
Now
And
I'm
the other thing
the
that you
Wilkes-Barre VA over
are gonna
there. 3 years of
Is there another VA facility you can go to close enough you can get to?
I just went to a new one 3 months ago. So now I'm starting at the one that's a rinky-dink one. It's which I like
little
because they're
satellite clinic.
actually like humans. They're caring and they understand and they listen. So that's where I'm at now. But again, retiree, and I'm still not getting any treatment. I'm still no actual treatment for 6
Yeah.
years in retirement. But now I'm at a new place. But that's everyone's solution. Try somewhere else. I appreciate your input, but how
Yep.
many times do I have to try someplace else before somebody in the VA system cares enough to get me treatment?
Mhm.
That's just
Well, I
where I'm
hope
at right
this
now.
one
And I'm
works
sorry
out
if I
for
sound
you.
a little hostile. But I am. It's 10 years. And I can't wear nail polish. And when I go out on a date and a man looks at my hands and cringes because I have no fingernails, it's embarrassing. It hurts me. Like I don't understand why I can't have something so basic as fingernails fixed by the VA. 10 years. My job is chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear defense for 21 years. Active duty. Every single month, I ran a gas chamber. Sometimes 3 times a month, I ran a gas chamber. And my nail psoriasis is directly related to the CS capsules. The actual chemical that comes out of the crystals from our CS that burns and it turns into a gas, those crystals fall back down to the ground into a crystal. But those crystals vaporize. That goes into is an autoimmune response, which can cause nail psoriasis. It's all proven. Everything's been submitted to the VA. So after 21 years at the gas chamber, 1 to 3 times a month of inhaling this chemical that triggers an autoimmune response, which is nail psoriasis is an autoimmune response, I still can't get treatment. What more evidence do we need from our veterans to prove my service for 21 years caused this autoimmune disease that I'm going to have for the rest of my life? Why can't I get treatment for the disease that was caused by my service in the Marine Corps?
Now, Laura, we both served in Afghanistan together. We were both exposed to the burn pits. Have you tried doing it under the PACT Act?
Burn pits? Oh, we broke up. God damn it. I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
It's okay. Have you tried doing it under the PACT Act because we were exposed to burn pits?
I did submit it, and actually, I submitted it twice. I submitted it in 2022, and I just submitted again in 2024. No response, no follow-up since. I'll get up with you
Wow.
personally.
Yeah, I had the
though.
same
I'll
experience.
hit you up offline, Mike, and see if you can give me any.
Sure.
Your story, it really hurts me to hear that, and it's wrong that they're doing that. And I don't know how, but we're gonna make change. I don't know how fast or how slow it's gonna move, but the VA needs to be abolished.
Look at
They don't
here.
they give us a promise and they can't even fulfill it.
John Allen's been waiting for over a
That's
year
true.
for hearing aids. That is crazy. Do you know how common the VA is with hearing aids? I think we all should just move down. Larry, I'm
Oh
going to
my
use
God.
your home as my new residence, and I'm going to go to your VA. I'll fly in.
Yeah, come on
Seriously,
down.
Larry.
You know, Laura, another,
I
you know,
can't
I
believe
guess
it.
I'm not going to say drastic, but another thing you can
Wow.
do is, you know, write a congressman. You know, get the politics involved. If a congressman starts looking into something, they'll start stepping too. So maybe
My
that's
Congress representative dismissed my case.
Yeah, and when
Yes.
when your
My nail
congressman,
psoriasis actually got denied because there wasn't enough evidence.
when your congressman does like
Even
what
though I had
AVA
3
does,
outside doctors I paid for that wrote it.
yeah, when your
Sorry, Mike.
congressman does what AVA's does, what I tell people is to contact Congressman Mike Bost out of Illinois because he is the ranking member of the Veterans Affairs Committee in the House.
But we also need our viewers that I'd like to say hi to everybody. Thank you for being here. You got to share our stories because without you, technically don't have a voice because they don't listen to us. That's for sure. Either that or you'll get, this is something I wanted to warn you about, Laura, is you got to be careful with the Disruptive Behavior Committee.
Yeah, that's what they did to him.
They basically gave me a cease and desist letter telling me that if I continued to act up or protect myself, that they would deny me care.
I try my best. I mean, I'm at the end of my rope. I served 21 years active duty, 2 war zones, over a year in each location. I've done everything and anything my country has asked me to do, and I've been retired for 6 years. And I can't get LASIK, and this has been going on for like 18 years. I've been trying to get it since I was like a corporal. I still can't get LASIK, so I can get rid of my glasses. I 10 years, and I can't get rid of my nail psoriasis because I can't find anybody that will send me to a dermatologist and then have a dermatologist put it in writing his nail psoriasis. I have evidence from 3 outside doctors that I paid my money to that said, yes, it's an autoimmune disease caused by chemicals. I mean, it's comprehensive. I submitted it to the VA and it got denied. Like it blows my mind how these things, and this is something like minor, like nails. Okay, come on now. We got people that
Yeah, you're right.
are missing limbs. We have lung damage. We have chronic armpits being exposed to the sand in the sandboxes that cause permanent cavities. That's a fact. You have sinus problems. That's because that fine micro sand gets inside of your sinuses and it causes permanent damage. It causes scarring. Why are we not getting these vets? Why can't they go and get the surgeries to help problems? Again, not to brag, but 21 years. I can't breathe. Like CS inhaling it for 21 years. I cannot breathe anymore. But
And again, that's absolutely horrible and wrong that that's the way that they treat you. If I was there, I'd go over there with you. Because if you came to my VA, they'd probably arrest us both.
I just want to remind everyone to
I would think that
subscribe
my
to
loud
Forever
mouth
Huffs Living and to AVA, Veterans Affair Media.
Hey, I know them.
Oh, we almost got you to that 1,000. That
I know
magical
it.
number.
We're over 900. I'm tickled. Thank y'all. Thanks for the help. Laura, do you have TRICARE? You did 21 years. Have you got TRICARE?
I'm sorry, it froze up. Do I have what?
You did
Oh yeah,
21
I'm
years.
actually yeah, I'm at 98%, but according to the VA, it's actually 80%.
Okay, but I'm still asking, do you have the TRICARE insurance? Just go deal with this on
Yeah.
your own on the civilian side. TRICARE cover anyway.
Yes.
So it's TRICARE that's denying you and not the VA?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, not TRICARE. I'm strictly under the VA. I declined all the TRICARE coverage. Once I retired, for me, that was the best. So I strictly deal with the VA.
Okay.
I see. Okay. I was just wondering about that.
And they don't have you as 100% disabled.
No, actually, if my paperwork says 98% in parentheses, and then it says 90%. So I am at the VA level of 90%. I just haven't gotten the extra
You
2 or 3
should-
percentages to
you're
get to 100%.
If you're at 98, they should be rounding up. So we'll have to talk about that later.
And that's what I brought up to them, because on my paper it says that. The lady I talked to said it was a typo. It should have been 93.
Okay, so
And she's like, it's easy to confuse a 3 and an 8.
if it's,
So I was like, oh, okay. So
if it's 93,
can we put it up?
we only need to get you.
I guess it
2%
rounds up to 90 something. We need to talk offline, Mike.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm just sending a link here.
Do you see what John Allen posted? The VA hospital has his VA hospital has allied security in there. They're worse than the police.
There's so many videos about them.
They put him in handcuffs? Oh my God. Under what circumstance does a veteran going someplace and begging for assistance and begging for treatment deserve to be put in handcuffs?
Oh, you just
I would
go
love
onto
anyone to
YouTube.
explain that to me.
Go to YouTube
Anybody.
and type in VA
I guarantee
injustice.
you that man, John Allen, went there demanding for treatment, demanding help, and was put in handcuffs.
They like to do that. They don't even have body cams. At the Atlanta VA, there was a veteran that got slammed on the floor. His head was kicked in, and this was by a patient advocate.
Wow.
But this is who the VA is paying, right?
Right.
Our government is paying advocate to do that job. So that advocate who gets paid to do their job is physically and emotionally abusing veterans. I bet you he still has his job.
I'm sure he does, but this
course he
is probably happening across the nation.
Deplorable.
Yeah, like Baltimore County Observer says, ask the angry vet. I don't know if you've met the angry vet yet, but he has a right to be angry. They tried to, they charged him with federal felonies for recording his appointment.
For wiretapping.
Yeah, wiretapping. I did the same thing, and they just threatened to take my benefits away.
Really?
That's everybody. If you could share all these streams out, because we're on X, Veteran Nation. We got people watching there. AVA's channel. We got people watching there. We got people watching on Huffs. Please share these out so other veterans can find us. because yeah, we want to highlight as many of these injustices as we can. Now,
Did you know
Got
that
me
the
angry
VA
that-
has
because it sounds like me and him have a lot to talk about.
he might jump in here. I did send him the link, so he might jump in today.
Did you know that the VA has, well, I don't know about every single VA, but most of them have their own arms room?
I don't know if Mike, if you're seeing this, but Allied Security, how absolutely deplorable they are. Look at all these comments. Allied Security,
Mhm.
Allied Security, Allied Security. Like, my God. So many people, so many veterans and their families have had such a negative experience with Allied Security, and somehow they're still being employed by our government.
Yeah, I had one try to fight me in the hallway when I went to go see my congressman.
Oh, jeez. This is the problem with the country. Hire veterans and we won't have this problem.
Agreed.
Hire your veterans.
We might be
to your
stressed out,
security.
but we can.
Instead of Allied Security, how about veterans? You know what? We got issues. Our issues got issues. We know what's right, we know what's wrong, and we take care of people who need help.
We've got another veteran who's trying to jump in, so I'm trying to help him out.
Oh yeah. I'm just reading these comments. Like I'm blown away.
Hey, Georgie.
So a Veterans Affair. Where can I find you if I want to like contact you?
It's kind of hard because I made my name on purpose to slip in between the Veterans Affairs actual page. So it would be a Veterans Affairs Media.
Would you feel more comfortable?
Because I want
people the private chat. If you want to.
Yeah, sure, I could put it in there.
Yeah, put it in the private chat for her.
Yeah, if you put it in the private
Yeah,
chat,
Mike-
only us four will see it.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, the Wilburns. I know I keep freezing up. I don't know. I got full bars, but I live on top of a mountain in the middle of Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to freeze up.
All right, there you go. But my email is in my about as well. If you want to contact me that way.
Okay.
But yeah,
Thank you.
I
I
definitely feel for you, and
really appreciate it.
100% wrong for them to treat you that way. They know it. We know it. They just don't care.
And I understand that sometimes when we talk about these situations, we get like I know for me, born and raised in Jersey, I'm a hand talker. Sometimes I get pretty vocal, and it doesn't help that I'm 6 foot tall, and sometimes it can be a little intimidating. But you can't help it. Get frustrated. You're literally asking for nothing but basic care. If I were to have gone to the emergency room in a civilian place, they would have gladly have sent me to dermatology so they can collect the money. They would have gladly have given me the treatment for money. And the VA, their solution is, no, keep sending you through these $10 doctors over and over again forever. And then you're never going to get fixed, but we can keep collecting. It's really deplorable. And sometimes I lose my shit and I get a little loud. I get a little, oh, I'm sorry, Skipper. Sometimes I lose my stuff and I get a little aggressive, but
I say fuck. So
10 years. I get a little mouthy.
Well, think about it like this: the VA specifically has a business
We froze up.
office.
We keep freezing.
Sorry, all right, I don't know why, but they have a business office. I don't understand why they would need that, other than to learn how to account do accounting and keeping track of where the money's going or where it's not going. Because again, I feel like we're all paychecks to them. I don't think I'm ever going to change my mind on that.
Yeah, there's some things and then there's some things the VA does really well. Like, I thought the VA, the home buying process was really easy with them. Yeah, I had to do inspections, and people were really mad about the inspections, and I was like, it's an inspection. Like, I'm glad that it's there. Other things, I was assisting a couple people with getting records of deceased veterans, and that went very smoothly. So I don't know why some things go so easily and other things don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, Brett, we got you.
it's true.
Oh, okay. There we go. We don't do much of this restream and all that stuff, so we don't really know how it works. And there's several different passwords. We did
Hey,
have
we got a
mayor.
new guy.
We did all the other stuff. So anyway, here I am.
Welcome, welcome.
Can you see me okay?
We got you.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, on the VA subject, I really haven't done a lot. I haven't done anything with VA. In fact, when I left Alaska and went to Florida, I did go to the Gainesville VA there near Shands Hospital, which is supposed to be an excellent VA clinic. I went and got my card, and then I got the card and I asked some questions about using it. And they said, oh, yeah, well, based on your rank, there's a $50 deductible. Well, I was like, what? Wow. So there's nothing free at the VA for me because of my rank. So I retired as a CW3, a warrant officer 3. So that's treated like a field grade officer, which is sort of equivalent to a major. And so they have a deductible that was higher than any copayment I've had with TRICARE. So I've always had TRICARE either Prime or Select. When you're on active duty, you actually are using TRICARE Prime because they give it to you for free. So it's TRICARE Prime. The only thing that I don't like about TRICARE is they need to, and we're struggling with this too, their billing is fine. The costs are fine. I think most of my co-payments have been around $25 to visit a specialist, or even your primary care provider. So the big thing is that you have to set up your primary care provider, which means that primary care provider must be on their list of providers. Now, if it's not, you get them to call as a provider, because you know how they have that 1 for beneficiary, 2 for provider, and they'll talk to the provider and get them listed. So there's credentials they have to get from them to certify them on their list of providers. But once you have that set, it doesn't change. The biggest difference between Prime and Standard, a lot of people are liking the Standard because they don't have to deal with the referrals and they can go anywhere they want. Yeah, but your co-payments are a lot higher. They can be 50, 75, 150. I mean, they can get up there. And that also transfers to your medicines. So, like, I thought it was pretty incredible. Some of our medicines that we've gotten from a referral, from a doctor or provider, like yesterday, Therese got medicine from Walgreens here, from her surgery, and she got 2 things: some high 800 milligram Motrin. I don't know how many, okay, and then she got some oxycodone. I don't know how many, but the 2 of those prescriptions was $2. I'm all about
Wow.
it. So that was good. I would imagine it's much more than that. So I've paid when I was doing my physical therapy. Again, everything has to be referred. So my biggest grievance with our provider here is that he's seeing a lot of old people. Okay. And so they only have one person putting in the referrals, and you got to stay on it. Like, you got to call them like every 3 days and be like, hey, did you get to my referral? Did you get it in? And you shouldn't have to do that. I would like to find another provider that has a couple of different people that put in the referrals, because that's been our biggest thing. I went for a procedure, without being too technical, but it's what men typically get when they're over 50, right? Okay, so everybody knows. So I go in for a procedure, and they were supposed to do another procedure with it. like an endoscopy, the top end and the bottom end at the same time, because I was already under. It's easier to do it. Well, they didn't get the referral in to add that, so I just went for the one. So now there's going to be another one coming, probably. But I mean, that one wasn't as important anyway. But you see, you have to fight the whole referral process with Prime. Now it's cheaper, so hang with it and be patient. Or if you get a good provider that has a couple of different referral agents that can do it. But there was only one, and then she got sick, and then she was out, and then she comes back, and that office is insanely busy. Like they're just pumping people through there. Boom, boom, boom. He probably sees 100 patients a day. It's incredibly insane. I think he's pretty good. I can't really speak to his care because he really just did the initial blood test, the physical workup, and then he refers everything. So, but if you get the referral and you get that process down, I tell you, the specialized care here has been phenomenal, and there's no waiting list. Therese had a breast exam done too, and it's walk in, walk out. You're out within 45 minutes. Like there's no waiting. Tullahoma here has a Vanderbilt clinic, it's actually a hospital, but it's a small hospital, and it's walk in, walk out. So if you can get in and get referred and get seen, it's great care, phenomenally educated people. I've also been to my procedure was done at the Winchester, Southern Tennessee Regional in Winchester, and it was phenomenal. Again, great staff, educated people in and out. It was great. I had that procedure done there, and I also had an MRI done for the shoulder there. I picked up my disc and my reports and took them to my primary care manager. Even though he had a digital copy, I like to make sure I have it in case he didn't get it. And everything's been great. I mean, I cannot complain about the care. The only thing I have a trip up with on the TRICARE Prime is really just getting the right TRICARE manager who has a good referral agent. That's the key. Once you get that, the care is, man, I've never had better care. Let's just say. So I don't have any experience with the VA or how it works. But when their copayment is twice what my regular copayment is with TRICARE, and I can use any civilian doctor I want, I just have to get them on the list, then that's where I'm going. And if you have a family, that's what you're going to use because they can't use VA anyway. So if you're just a single person, it might be a better option for just you. Because I've questioned it here at the Arnold Air Force Base. Am I able to use the VA? They're like, yeah, but they're not taking new patients, and there's a long list. I'm like, well, okay, I was just asking. I didn't care anyway. But they do have one. I didn't even know they had one because this base is really small. They have 50 active duty people. 50. That's it. The rest are contractors, DOD contractors, and civilian contractors. But they make up about 2,500 people in total. It's a turbine test base, mostly. So NASA uses it. There's a lot of stuff that gets tested here, like wind tunnel testing. That's about the extent of what I know about it. But that's what they do here, and that's not secret. That's on their webpage. So, but it's pretty hush hush what they do there, and that's fine. And UT
named Sharon.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a lady named Sharon that made a comment. She wanted to clarify aggressive or belligerent, the reason why that I wasn't getting assistance. I went into the VA, my treatment, and again, after every single provider, the same recourse, and that course, they provided me a new provider over and over again. I'm not belligerent, I'm not disrespectful, but I am firm and I do stick myself. And after 10 years, this is unacceptable. Yeah. Try to explain to my providers, which goes absolutely nowhere. I go through all over again, and then I get a new provider. So, like right now, I have a new provider. But I just want to let Sherry know, no, there's no yelling, there's no cursing, there's no belittling. I'm not insulting my providers or healthcare providers. I just want treatment, Sharon. I want treatment.
Yeah. I can say if you did go through TRICARE, and I don't know what your cost would be, what your family situation is, but you would definitely get the care because the civilian world is full of bright new people. I mean, depending on where you live, is what the lines are. Like healthcare in Florida, I'm not gonna say it was bad, but they're overwhelmed. There's a lot of it, and so there's a lot of old people in Florida. There's a lot of retirees, and there's a lot of sick people. So the medical field is pretty full, just like the state is full.
I guess
There's a
the
lot
way
of people
I
down
see
there in January.
I absolutely understand. I guess the way I see it is after 21 years of active combat duty, I shouldn't pay anything at all for any health care. And I think all of
I-
us who have served in combat feel exactly the same way. I shouldn't have to
Yeah,
go to
I-
TRICARE, pay them money so that I get
Yeah.
good health care. I shouldn't have to do that. And I don't want
Right. No, I get
and
it.
I'm going on a 10-year fight, and my German stubborn fight. I'm not going to pay somebody to give me the service that I deserve and that I rate. I rate it. 21 years, gunnery sergeant, United States Marine Corps, active duty, combat service. I want my treatment.
Yeah.
And I don't have to pay
Yeah,
for
I get
it.
it.
I'm not going to pay for it. And if I have to continue to fight, and if I have to go higher and go to Congress and go to senators, I'm going to. But this is unacceptable. And if something as simple as my little tiny insignificant problem is a problem for the VA, then someone with a missing limb, a lung, cancers, tumors, these people are suffering way more than I am. So someone does need to speak up, and people do need to bring it up so that everyone gets the appropriate care. This is just, it's not acceptable. It's absolutely not acceptable. My minor problem is nothing compared to other people. So we need to take care of all veterans, and the VA needs to do their job and give us what they promised. They promised me if I protected my country and I served in combat and I was active duty, that they would take care of my medical needs. So where are all these veterans? We have Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, who are still not receiving the appropriate medical care. Absolutely unacceptable. And people need to speak up.
I think with any agency, with the federal government, they really haven't proven that in the past that they can run any agency with effectiveness or efficiency. Look at the post office, look at the VA. I mean, they should just be governing. And when it comes to running a big operation or an agency, they
Yes,
need
sir.
to contract it out. Who's over the VA now? Has there been a change? Like I know JFK Jr. took over World Health Organization. I don't know how close that is to VA.
Congressman Doug Collins has been confirmed as the new VA secretary, so there is new leadership there.
Okay, well maybe something will happen under the new administration.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some kind of change anyway with the new congressman. I've seen Doug Collins and different things. He seems like he's a really sharp individual. So,
Well,
maybe
we'll
he'll
see.
get in there and get some changes made.
Yeah,
I've had
Can I say something before we get on too far? I just wanted to comment to Yankee Bell. If your husband's documents, all of them, got burned up, go to nationalarchives.gov and you can get all of his stuff.
as far as
And-
medical records go, I got a piece to add. I think it was last year or so, not more than 2 years ago. My records were all up at the Bassett Army Community Hospital on Fort Wainwright in Alaska because I was up there 20 years. I mean, I deployed from there and I went to Fort Campbell and went back, but in altogether it was 23 years in the service and 20 years in Alaska, but not all active duty. I retired and stayed another 12 years. But my records were up there, and they contacted me with an email and says, "Hey, if you want a copy of all your medical records, you need to respond to us by this date." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And they did. They copied them, and you can see their photocopies. I had what I thought I had was a complete list of my medical file. I kept it when I got out, and then they sent me what mostly is a duplicate of what I already had. But it's okay. You can't have too much stuff. And so I don't know if when you got separated from service, did they reach out to you and say, hey, if you want your records, contact us and we'll provide them? Or do you have to go start that inquiry?
I all my medical records were provided to me, but I also found them online at the National Archives. I was just
Okay.
mentioning that in case that's to any service member. If you lose your records, like your DD 214, there's your medical documents, your time in service, your EBR or ERB is in there.
ORB.
I do recommend every
Oh.
veteran to take a digital copy of their DD 214, email it to yourself or your significant other, so then you have it digitally somewhere. Because things like fires, things like the VA losing it. I've had veterans, military, get out, pack up their stuff for their TMO move, and the movers just completely lose all their records. So you wanna have backup copies of those digitally if you can.
Yeah, I made sure to keep copies of my own. So when I retired out, I had a copy of everything.
And likewise, I've told people, active duty Marines, because I'm on the base every day. I've told them, look, every time you go to medical, send your personal email and detail it. That's considered journaling, and emails are government records. So with the VA, you're doing a claim years later, you can pull those emails and attach it right to your claim.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they don't tell you while you're in. Like I found out about making an I Love Me book halfway through being my time.
Yes.
I'm outside soaking up the sun. It feels so good.
You guys just had snow there the other day.
We haven't had a whole lot of
think
sun
I
the
see
last
snow
couple
on the
days, but we're
ground.
supposed to. There is still some snow in some pockets. Yep. So let me hold this a different way. That's the lake behind me. So this is the back porch here that faces the lake, but it's way down the hill. It's probably 300 feet to the waterfront. But you can see through there, especially in the fall. Now, if I was to move over another 20 feet onto the porch, there's
There
some
we go.
trees that have been cleared so that there's a line of sight back there. But it's really pretty and very quiet out here.
That's a lot of snow.
Not really. I think we got 1.5 inches and maybe 3 inches the first time and 1.5 inches this time. So it only snowed twice. I think the winters are very mild here. That's good. That's fine.
All right, everybody. I appreciate you, Skipper, for letting me be on your show again. I got to start rolling on with my day. Got to
Sure.
go to the in-laws today.
Well, thank you for joining us, Kanu. We appreciate it, and always good to talk with you.
You as well.
Great talking
Thank
to
you, everybody.
See you later.
Larry, Laura, and Brett. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
It's nice meeting you.
Bye.
I'll message you later.
You too. I want to talk to you more.
Yes, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now Larry just got back from a
I froze
vacation.
again. Dang it.
Did you?
You're not froze here.
We can hear you.
I can see you moving. So
When it freezes up on her end, it gives her a delay. But yeah, so Larry, you just got back from your cruise, and Brett, you guys go on a lot of vacations because you guys are RVing around quite a bit. Is there any bases that you guys, either of you, would recommend for people to definitely, for veterans to check out?
it really depends on what your liking is. Do you like a value? Like we look for the low, like if it's $50 or more, you're getting out of what I'm willing to spend to camp. Like I'm just camping. But in certain places, you're going to spend about like Key West. That's a popular place. It's a nice place. It's a nice campground too. But it is shoulder to shoulder. You're on a gravel pad for the most part, and it's $47 every night. There is no weekly or monthly rate. There's some that are more than that. and I don't understand why they would be much more than that. But when we went through Pensacola, there's like 4 different family campgrounds. They call them fam camps on the Air Force Base. And there were 4 different ones, and we drove through the ones, even the ones we didn't stay at, and we liked all of them. So if you're going down to Pensacola, you got some choices. You got if I'm saying it right, Hurlburt
Hurlburt, yeah.
Airfield. Yep. And then you got
Blue Angel.
yeah, I can't remember the name of all of them, but I'm off the top of my head. But they're all kind of right there together within 3 or 4 miles. So you've got lots of options. We did a weekly rate, and I don't remember what that was, but yeah, we haven't nearly. We really liked Fort Wainwright's little campground. Now it's seasonal; it's just summer, but I think it was $25 a night, and they do have a monthly rate. I think that's what it comes out to be. It's $25 a night, but it's not more than 30, even if you go day to day. So your best campgrounds are on the base as far as price. Now you'll get a variety of. Some of them you'll find have free laundry. I think there was one down in Florida, and again, I don't remember where it was, that had free laundry. But we take a washer and dryer with us, so we do our laundry right there in the coach. But if they have free laundry, we'll use it. But we still got a lot more. Colorado, Fort Carson area has a brand new one. Haven't seen it. I want to see it, so that's planned. Our next, we're hoping to go in a couple weeks. Fingers crossed. Then we will go down towards San Antonio, Texas. Fort Rucker has a nice one. It's not near the main part of the base. It's over by the lake, and you'll know what the lake is when you get there because everybody talks about it. But it's about 20 minutes out. But you know what I like about staying there is it's $25. You're on the water. And if you want to sneak it, you can get a free breakfast, a full breakfast, a hot breakfast. Over at across from the Warren Officer Candidate School is a on-base hotel, like a Quality Inn or something. You can go in there between like 6 a.m. and 9, and there's a free breakfast. So there's hundreds of people coming and going. So just act like you stay there and then go in there and get breakfast. So that's why I always like going through. It's near Dothan, Alabama. They call it L.A., Lower Alabama.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's
Lake
what they said.
Tulaco. That's a nice lake. And,
I actually,
Yeah.
my MOS school was in Alabama, Fort McClellan.
Okay.
Let me tell
I went
you,
through Fort
Fort
McClellan.
McClellan, Alabama, the gas stations, you can go in and buy beer on tap in the gas station. So as a
Oh, that's cool.
17-year-old, we went in there, put beer on tap. Alabama was the most amazing place I've ever been in my entire life. 45, and I still love Alabama.
Also, a lot of the liquor stores, as you know, have
Beer on
moved into
tap,
the
beer on
AFEs.
tap.
And so the selections are
It's huge for Marine.
the selections are less. But at the Fort Rucker, I call it Rucker. I forget the new name, Novacell or something ridiculous.
It's still Rucker. Just stick with Rucker. Mother Rucker.
Okay, Mother Rucker. Yep. So they do have still a Class 6 there, and it's a very nice one. The only problem is the prices aren't great, and it's because Alabama has an alcoholic beverage control tax, and they're not exempt from it. So good store, but not the great prices. Now at Eglin Air Force Base, oh my gosh, I have to say that is the best Class 6 I've ever seen ever in my life. They had the hard to get stuff, like we like the what's it called? Salted caramel crown, and it's seasonal. Okay. So we'll stock up on it. And usually it's approaching $29 to $30 for the small bottle, but they had it there for 21, and all their prices were like that. They were at least 20% cheaper than everywhere else we had been. Wow. So yes, if you're down toward Eglin Air Force Base, definitely go to the Class 6.
Hey, while we're talking about this, Skipper,
I will check it out.
There's a website. It's called Military Campgrounds. I think it's .net, might be .com. I don't know, but it's a retired Air Force guy that started it years ago, and it's an excellent resource if you're into camping and lodging and that sort of stuff. It's got like an interactive map. You pick which state you want to go to, and it'll show you
Oh,
all that.
nice.
And a lot of them have, as far as RVing, they have some of them have a difficult way to get in. You can't go through the main gate, to
Okay.
get with a big RV. So they divert you to a secondary gate somewhere. And that website's really good. It shares all that information with you, how to get into some of those and what the prices are. It usually has a contact number, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a retired, I think he was Air Force, and I've been using that website, I know, for 15 years. So it's been out there a good while, but it's a very good resource. And I agree, the campgrounds, I don't agree with some things. The campgrounds were always a very good value at the military bases, but about 10 years ago, some of them at your more prime areas, like down on the coast and stuff, they saw the opportunity. We need to be more in line with what the civilian parks are, and they went way up on their prices, more than doubled on some of them, just because they could. And their argument is, well, we're still cheaper than the civilian one down the road. And to me, that's not the point. The point is this should be somewhat of a perk for those of us that are veterans or retirees or whatever. For our service, we get to go to these military bases and use these campgrounds at a really, reduced rate. But some of them, especially in the prime areas. I know over in Pensacola, the one you're talking about, we used to go over to the Blue Angel campground over there. And I think they had a monthly rate of like $350. And then several years ago, they decided, no, we need to be more in line. And now I think it's close to $700 for a monthly rate. They more than doubled when they went up.
If you guys check out, the state campgrounds, I swear there's like 80% of state-run parks. It's free entrance for military. So whether it be a canoe or kayak drop or a boat drop or campgrounds themselves, it's 80% is like free. But you have to go to each state to their actual state campground, and then you register on there and you provide a photo of your ID or your retiree or your VA card, and you automatically get sent in the mail a free thing. So it's like a free pass. And when you go camping, like you have your free pass, you put on your car, whatever. And when you register your sites, my buddy lives in upstate New York. He gets lakefront sites in upstate New York and Rochester, and it's absolutely free. But you do have to do the legwork, register with the state. And because the states are weird, you have to go to each individual campground and register with them. But 90% of them are free. You just have to do the legwork for it. And it's
there's a little
something in
legwork involved.
Pennsylvania I didn't know about until a friend told her husband. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. So I don't think I haven't paid for a camp stay here in New York, New Jersey, or Pennsylvania since I retired. Something to look into.
All of our state parks went way up on their prices last year. Now they do have the deal veterans that let them in for free, but the camping, went way up. What we found is the Corps of Engineer parks, which are very nice, they still have a really good deal for veterans. You can stay there pretty cheap. So Corps Engineer parks and most of the military bases.
Are those on bases or just within the state?
No, the Corps of Engineer parks are not on bases, but most bases have a FAM camp. And if it's, kind of an off base somewhere, it's pretty cheap. But if it's down in a key area like Key West or Florida or somewhere down there like that, they've gone up pretty high on the prices. And I felt like that was wrong. They should have kept it down to where it's really reasonable for veterans to be able to use the FAM camps. My opinion.
I like going on the bases because, you have an automatic security. You're usually inside the gate. There are a few exceptions. But then you're going to have a liquor store, you're going to have a commissary, you're going to have a gym, a fitness center, walking trails. You're going to have all that. You don't even have to. The campground doesn't have to provide it. The base provides it. So that's the great part about
I wish
that.
I lived close to a base, Brett. Like that would be amazing. That would be amazing if I lived
when
by
we
a
were
base.
when we were in Florida, we weren't close to a base, and that's something I didn't have control over because I was looking for a campground to own. That's was my primary mission, not is it near a base.
And that's something to look into because each state has it.
Yeah.
And with you being a veteran, if it's not
Mhm.
on a base, you can still get it for free or at least 75% off. And
Yeah, and
it's
we do-
absolutely
we
awesome.
do.
But you do have to like go to your state website and go to specific campgrounds, and they do honor it.
Mhm.
You just have to provide ID, and it's a great resource. It really is.
We want to get more into the state parks, like you said, because of the legwork. We've kind of shied away from it because we're always hustling to get a video or to do some editing or to get to an event, or it's just constantly busy. So then you pile that on top of it. It's like that takes research. Like, but we have a couple weeks here. We might look into that. But I
think
would
I see-
recommend if anybody's got time to travel and likes to drive, Alaska is phenomenally beautiful. The pictures don't do it justice. It's so majestic and so big that you can't get your head around it. It's amazing. We didn't nearly see all of it, so in a couple of years, we'd like to go back.
I've got a son at Eielson right now. We got to get back up there. We went up there once.
Skipper,
Our oldest son was there for a little
Newman
while.
is
a few years
Alaska.
ago.
Oh yeah, well,
Mark Newman, he's in
Marine we were
Alaska.
stationed with is up there.
And he's got a baby. Finally
Yeah, those-
settled down and made
The
the honest
bases-
woman out of that beautiful girl.
honest one. Yeah. Oh, if you like going to visiting Savannah,
He was
Hunter
a Marine,
Airfield.
so it took a while.
Hunter Airfield is in Savannah. So I think they were $25 a night. And it was pretty good. It's a little swampy there. It's a little wet. So don't go during the wet season, but you're right in downtown Savannah. You go out the gate, you're in Savannah. There's no distance to get to the town. So if you're going to visit Savannah, Hunter Army Airfield is a good place to camp.
I am going there this summer.
There
Need
you
to
go.
look at that one. That's not too far.
Yeah,
I-
Teresa's sister is going down there
Really?
with the Girl Scouts this summer, I think in July or August. And they won't be staying on the base because, all the girls are not all members of the military, but they're going to be visiting the Girl Scout main headquarters office down there. So that'll be interesting.
I'll be down there about that time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure we'll be mentioning it more on the channel when she's actually there.
We
So we'll see.
we've got my nephew and my son. It's my parents' 50th anniversary, and we're going to go down to that area, and we're planning everything now. But the one thing that I said I want to do is I want to take my nephew and my son onto Paris Island so they can see
yeah.
the.
I'd like to see that myself.
Oh, it's fun. when you're not going through it, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I bet. Do they have a campground there?
They might have one. It's been a while. I'll have to take a look. We were looking at other areas. We looked at Savannah, and what my mom really liked was some of those islands out there, and that's also
Oh.
where they filmed Forrest Gump.
Oh,
So,
okay.
You can see.
Oh, yeah. Forrest Gump was in Savannah, too. Remember the bench where they're sitting on the bench? Life is like a box of chocolates, that whole thing. They have it marked there. You can see it. It's right there in the square. And they call it the square, but it's a whole bunch of monuments that they have. They have the big water fountain, the round one. That's like their main Savannah. That's their main thing there. But it's nice. And then we did the boat tour. There's one that's free and there's one you paid for. I think the ferry is free and it stops in 3 places and goes across. And actually right across the water there is South Carolina. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, Savannah was a neat visit. I was there to I had my aunt passed away and then my cousin lives there too.
Where were you asking about skippers? Where'd you say you wanted to know where there was a campground? 29 Palms, is that what you said?
No, I that's where I live. I do know there is one on the base here. There's also one out in town. I've
Somebody
had
was
people-
asking a minute ago if a
Skipper,
campground was
no one
somewhere.
likes
Was that
to-
you, Brett?
No, I haven't done much California travel. Just up through I-5 and keep going.
People who are coming to California, if they're going to LA and they have an RV, I recommend going to Seal Beach because it's very southern LA. You're not far from Long Beach. You can get everywhere. And Seal Beach is very affordable and has a very nice campground and its own private beach, so you don't have to deal with all the public.
I can't believe in 20 years I avoided NTC. So I never got to see it.
Well, if you end up coming out this way, that's not far from me. So
Yeah, no, it's in your neck of the woods.
I really want to get up to the Air Force Base where they trained the astronauts. I really want to get up there because I know they have a nice museum.
We might spend, we're talking about lining something up for middle Florida next year. Maybe Patrick's Air Force Base. It's right on the water. You can see the launches from there. We might stay a month there or something. We did stay one night there in a tent, but it was blowing sideways and it wasn't much fun. But
There's not many on the East Coast, but the further west you come, there's a lot of national parks, and
Oh, yeah.
with those national parks, veterans get free admission.
yes, we have our national park pass for that. We got it in St. Augustine, actually.
I was just sharing this website if any of y'all are interested. This U.S. military campgrounds and RV parks. You can see the map.
yeah.
It shows how many in each state. You can click on the state, or you can come down here and pick the state, and it'll show you all of them that are there, and then you can look at each one. Didn't mean to take over the screen there, Skipper.
No, you're fine. You're fine. In fact, I always recommend for NASCAR fans, if they come out to Vegas, to just stay out at Nellis. I know a lot of
Yes, yeah.
people look at the casinos, but if you go out to Nellis Air Force Base, it's right there near where the racetrack is. And while you're sitting at the racetrack, you're going to get buzzed all the time by aircraft. Another one that people don't know about is the Coast Guard runs a cabin up at
yeah.
Lake Tahoe.
Oh, Coast Guard's one's
Oh,
nice.
that would be beautiful right there. Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
living with.
The Marines up at Bridgeport taught me about that one.
We're hoping to go in a couple weeks, headed toward San Antonio, Texas. We'd like to see. I've seen it, but she hasn't seen it. The Riverwalk and the Alamo, and do a little historical thing with the Alamo.
I've never been up that way. I've only
The Air
been
Force
through the
Base out
Panhandle.
there where they do their basic
Just
training.
before-
They have a campground. It's kind of small, a little bit tight, but it's doable.
Yeah, and there's
Brad-
several bases there to have fam camps too. Yes.
What's up, Laura?
Brett, have you guys ever ridden horses before? I'm freezing up.
I have. My sister used to barrel race, so she had horses. But I was never a big horse enthusiast. But you
Okay,
know,
so
I like them, but not enough to own one. I know they're more work than fun.
In Texas, dude ranches. So when
Wow.
when me and Mike left Afghanistan, me and my friend, farmer, we went down to Texas and we went to a dude ranch. It was only 2 nights, but
Wow.
we went there. And when we got there, we ate, we got to meet the horses, we pet the horses. It was just like absolute amazing time. Then the next experience. Went back to a campfire and went to bed, and the next morning we were done. But when someone said a dude ranch, I'm from Jersey. Like I lived 14-story apartment building. Like it was absolutely amazing. I would love to do it again. And it was like all Texan, the hats, the boots, like it was just absolutely amazing. It was a great experience. If no one has ever dude ranch.
I spent 8 years at Fort Hood, so I know Texas. It's just been a while.
A great place.
It's a big
My
place.
one and only.
Get
Oh
along.
my God, you Texans know how to do it.
Fort Hood's so big, they have like 3 geographic regions, and it takes you like 2 hours to drive from one end to the other. It's Fort Hood, North Fort Hood, and West Fort Hood.
Yeah,
And they used to have, I think they
they
had 2 or 3 commissaries, and they had 11 swimming pools at one time.
but they would tell you, "Welcome to the great place" as you come through the gate, and you know good and well
Yeah.
this is the most sucking place there is.
It's like a 6-lane highway going into the main gate. I mean, you can't secure it. It's insane. But I don't typically like big places like that. I like smaller, out of the way places. I think those are neat.
One place that I did really like, I was stationed there very shortly for training, was Fort Story, Virginia, which is right at Virginia
Oh,
Beach.
yeah.
And
I
they
have
had
been there, but not since I was in the military. I was younger.
They had some nice beachfront condos.
Yes. I got a story there, but I can't share that online.
I spent a little time at Fort Eustis,
Oh,
kind of the
right.
same area. It's nice up there.
Fort Belvoir is supposed to be a nice place to stay. I've heard some good things on the fan camp
Fort,
Facebook group.
Fort Eustis.
They call it Fort Useless.
That's where the Army's Navy is.
You might not know it, but like Virginia has like 8 bases. Like they're all small. You hear of Fort Lee, Fort Belvoir,
Linda
Fort
was
Useless,
just
but there's
commenting
Fort
about
Pickett,
Hawaii
Fort
has
Monroe,
the
Fort Story. There's a
COA.
lot of small ones.
Remember correctly.
Quantico is also there.
I'm sorry, I
You've
have a
heard of that.
delay.
Yeah. That's because you're in those buildings. You need to get out in the country.
I'm literally look. I'm in the middle of the woods, like in the middle of the. I'm on top of a mountain.
Oh.
I think that's my problem. I'm on a mountain.
Oh, that could be.
But I was stationed in Hawaii twice, and Lindsay just commented about Halikoa,
Oh, nice.
KOA, Koa.
Oh, yeah.
It's the hotel that's
Yeah,
there,
Alakoa.
and it's the military hotel.
Yep. I've heard about it.
God, Koa, I think it was like 4 or 5 stories, but it's right there, beachfront. There's a bar there, everything, but it's military discounted, and they have the military parking lot. So thank you, Lindsay. I'm sorry, Linda Early, for bringing that up, because that is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, we've looked at that too. I've never been to Hawaii, and neither has she. So that's a place we'd like to go to. Of course, we can't drive there. So, do they have cruises that go that way?
No.
They
Take
do.
your plane there. Take your boat there. It is so worth it. It really is. Linda is spot on. That is. I was stationed there, and even being stationed there, my family would come to visit, and we'd get like the 1-bedroom one, but they had the couch with the pull-out bed, and you can request to have like a pull-out bed pulled in. I had like 7 people in a 1-bedroom, 2-person room, right there with a balcony on the beach in Hawaii. Absolutely amazing. And they do the veteran duty discount. So the Halikoa, please check out Halikoa. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. On our list, our ever-growing list. Scratch 1 off, and 2 more get on the bottom.
God, the list of rest.
I don't know if Larry's been ever been out there, Hawaii at all.
No, I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I need to get out there one of these days. My sister,
got the shirt,
bless her
though.
heart, she goes out there for like 6 weeks
You
every
got the
year.
shirt, Larry.
I've heard most of the military people, when I was active, what they spoke about Hawaii is like it's a great place to visit, but you can see it all in 3 weeks and you're done with it.
Yeah, that is really expensive. They don't realize how expensive it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's also the nationals are friendly, but they're cliquey. Like there's some bad areas they don't want white people going to and stuff like that. I mean, it's democratic ran,
Yeah,
so you're going to get all
absolutely.
that garbage that comes with it.
I'll take AVA. He's Hawaiian. He's native Hawaiian.
Well,
so
I
I'll
found
take him.
even living there that if you ask the people at like Halikoa, you ask people at the gas stations and like even convenience stores, you ask them, you're a haole. Haole is a negative term for a white person. So if you ever hear a Hawaiian call you haole, they're basically calling you white POS. They don't like white people. But if you ask anyone who's a local who runs a store or a business or a hotel, and you ask them, where is it safe for white tourists to go? They'll tell you. But if you go to Kaneohe, which is where the Marine Corps base is, that area is safe. If you go up to North Shore, that's safe. If you go to the Halikoa, that's a safe area. But even if when you go up to the North Shore,
I don't know the area that well.
Well, no. Like the island's only like, I don't know, 30 miles wide. You really can't get lost. You got the H1, the H3. But when you go where you're going, ask, like I said, the gas stations, you got the local convenience stores, you got the hotels. You ask them, where is it safe for tourists so that we don't get robbed? And they're going to tell you. They're looking to get a tip from you. They're not going to lie to you.
How far away is that hotel from the museum, the World War II museum?
Oh, are you talking about the Arizona?
I think so. I don't recall the name of it. It's out on the water a little bit. You walk out.
That's the USS Arizona, and that was the ship that was sunk in the war. And if you go there, if you being military, you can take a class. You can take the Class A flight and go in through Kaneohe, the Marine Corps base, and that's like 20 minutes away from there. But Halikoa, the hotel, is right there in the area, 40 minutes away, unless you want to go to North Shore, South Shore, which is really good surfing area. It's more of the rural area of Hawaii. Absolutely gorgeous. You'll love it. But if you want anything, Halikoa, reserve that. You fly in through Kaneohe, the Marine Corps base as a veteran, and then you can just reserve a vehicle and go from there. Like it's just, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. It's a great vacation. But do stay away from like tourist traps. Like anything that they say is like real, it's not.
How about military cruises with no kids? Do they have those?
Oh, hallelujah! No, can someone tell
There's
me?
the
'Cause I'm single,
Margaritaville.
no kids. Skipper, you with me? Skipper,
There's a pipe dream right there.
Skipper, can we? No kids, all veterans. Can we do this? Skipper,
I've been saying let's do the Margaritaville cruise because that's free for all of us.
Where is it?
what do you mean free?
They leave out of Tampa and is it Palm Beach? I think it's Palm Beach.
We can do
Skipper, you
Tampa.
failed me.
They do them in November, from what I was saying.
Oh, well, okay.
For you,
We'll have to
for the
look at
veteran, and one
Okay.
person, and then if you bring other family, it's a discount.
Can we have a episode on this so that we can arrange to have a cruise?
I'm down.
No children, no spouses, no drama.
My wife is a travel agent for cruise
Travel
lines,
fun.
so we could get her in on that. We could get her in on that podcast, and she could share
Oh,
some
Larry, I knew I liked you.
insights on that. Yeah, she's tried to get me to do that veteran cruise, but it's so far down there. But I don't know if all you guys were going to go. Yeah, I might make the drive.
Well, Larry, I think we need this.
I would love to do a cruise with
Yeah.
just a bunch of veterans because I know how crazy it can get.
Come on now.
It'd be
We're
fun.
all happy people. I don't know. Brett looks a little bad.
I'm here. I got the sun in my face, but I like it.
Skipper,
I think we're gonna wrap
you
this
put
up
that
'cause
down
we've
on
been
your
going
to-do
for
list,
an hour
please?
and a half. I will. Yeah,
all
absolutely.
right, we got to roll, Skipper. But put that on your to-do list, please,
Yep.
because I think we need to have a getaway for veterans only. No drama, no spouses, no kids.
I'm down.
I'll go on that. Yeah.
That's we get a good group. Yeah, we'll have some fun.
Yeah.
I did my first cruise last November, not this last one, but the one prior. So I did a Mexican cruise, and that was fun.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and we'll start wrapping this up. Do you guys want to plug any of your stuff?
Yep. Madam Mayor's Adventures live at 5. We'll see you there.
Yeah, we got Forever Hook Living. And we have no schedule, so that's why we only have 900 subscribers. But I did subscribe to the mayor channel there a few
There you
days ago.
go.
We
Smart
need to
man.
we need to get together and do a collaboration on something.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's do that one of these days because
There
it sounds
you
like we
go.
do a lot of the same stuff.
Teamwork.
I'm an old retired W4, so we got that in
Oh.
common. So,
There you
we
go. I was
Yeah.
up for 4, but they wanted to tag me for 2 more years and send me to Fort Carson and back
Mike, you have a
overseas, and I wasn't about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
That's corn.
Yeah, they gave me my Mexican 5 on the way out the door.
Man, that's nice.
That's a
Well,
unicorn.
what we call a Mexican
You never seen
promotion
them in
is,
real life.
if they like you, they'll promote you for one day. Your last day in, they promote you for one day, and it doesn't count for anything. But at least they know they liked you anyway. So
Our promotions required a 2-year obligation, so it extends. And I had already asked once to retire, and they said no. So it
Yeah.
took me 2 years to get a yes, 2 more years to get a yes.
yeah, sound like you had a good career. I had a good career anyway. Sound like you did too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, most of it.
All right, Skipper. Thanks for having me today. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Likewise.
Mm.
Yep.
Laura, do you want to promote your art?
So I'm Laura McGuire. I'm an artist, and I have a little Facebook page called Magoo, like Mr. Magoo, Magoo Gallery, and I paint, I do sculpture, jewelry. I have a lot of hobbies to keep my mind occupied, so I keep it off of other things. So I'm a very, very, very crafty person. But if anyone's interested, Facebook, Magoo Gallery, my face is there on the profile picture. I think it is. But if you want to come check it out, I'd appreciate it. If not, no worries. Thank you for having me, Mike. I appreciate it, Skipper.
Yep.
Larry,
of course.
Brett, it was nice meeting you
Thank
guys.
That's it there, right?
Likewise, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too, Laura.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the guests. This was a great panel. I think we might be doing more of this. We were talking about once a month, so this will be fun if we do this like one Sunday a month. But yeah, thank you, everyone, for your comments. Thank you for joining and watching, and thank you to all the guests on the panel. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Go Vols.
Oh, Mike, someone just commented, anyone notice that Mike surrounds himself with the outspoken women?